Welcome to the case of Miss Santiago. My name's Alma Fox. We're going to be going over the agenda of her presenting issues, current concerns, environment, theories, additional concerns, summary, and references. Presenting issue. Miss Santiago is a 20-year-old female presenting to the Safe Haven for domestic abuse. She reports being hurt physically, emotionally, and demeaned by her boyfriend. He's very possessive and jealous. He hates for me to see any of my friends and constantly checks up on me. She reports recent threats on her life. He threatened to kill me if I ever leave the apartment again at night without his permission. I feel like a prisoner in my own place. Miss Santiago denies medical concerns but reports headaches and denies allergies to food and medication. She denies psych diagnosis, desire to hurt herself, desire to hurt others, audio-visual hallucinations, homicidal ideation, suicidal suicide attempts. Ms. Santiago reports a history of substance use of drugs and alcohol, with the last use being age 17. She reports history of sexual, physical, and emotional abuse. She presents with an average intellect and socially immature. Ms. Santiago reports toxic living accommodations and little supports. This is the understanding of Ms. Santiago, family, community. Ms. Santiago did experience sexual abuse as a child from her stepbrother, the neglect from her mother, and physical abuse from mother and stepfather after exposing the sexual abuse of her stepbrother. She did leave the home at the age of 15, which resulted in her using substances of alcohol and drugs up until the age of 17, to which she is now involved in a domestic violent relationship. She did complete high school with the assistance of the Job Corps program and currently works part-time. She receives little support from a friend and seeks attention of men frequently. Ms. Santiago's family consists of her and 6 other siblings. She was born to the mother of a teen at the age of 17. The mother also experienced physical abuse from Ms. Santiago's biological father. However, the mother denies any of the abuse that Ms. Santiago has reported, and or past or present, and there is no current financial support being received by the family for Ms. Santiago. In regards to her community, she currently lives with her boyfriend in an apartment, which is unsuitable to her emotional and physical well-being. She is engaged in the Job Corps program, where she received her high school diploma and part-time position, and currently is denying to follow up with any other additional financial assistance. The theories that I'd like to use are self-empowerment and humanism, client-centered theory. In regards to the empowerment, we want to include self-efficacy to help her with the empowerment process and growing as an empowered human being. Group consciousness, so that she can learn to secure her belongingness of her community. We want to reduce her self-blame and so that she can recognize that the barriers leading to understanding that the problem is not her being the person that is the problem. We do want her, however, to understand personal responsibility for change. She has every opportunity to get out of the current situation that she is in and utilize a solution to those problems. The multifocal vision, we want to help her identify the oppression so that she can no longer be marginalized and unite with those of similar concerns. We wanted to use dual perspective, so focus on both her and her environment and how that affects her psyche. The praxis of taking action based on this theory, so we want to be able to allow her to grow from the oppression and develop and or continue to be in that circumstances. And the humanism and client-centered, we want her to develop self-actualization that promotes growth and change in order to fulfill her personal goals. Incongruences, we want to understand the dissatisfaction and fear from resulting problems in the person's image. So why does she believe that she deserves this behavior? And then develop the congruence so that she can create a positive self-image that allows her to heal, grow, and move toward fulfillment. Unconditional positive regard, we want her to develop the desire to have warmth, communication, and care grounded in inherent self-worth rather than conditions. And finally, empathy, we want her to recognize that people do care about her and do want to help her develop into being a well-rounded person. Some areas of concern that I have for Miss Santiago is her desire for the need of attention of the men around her. Is more likely due to the abuse that she has experienced, and therefore believes that this is how men should be behaving around her. Her concern about her boyfriend, as he does not care about her well-being. I think it's important for her to develop an understanding that he is capable of handling himself and doesn't need her in this capacity, and is to develop her self-care. And my other concern would be the feeling of not being loved and feeling small. This again is probably due to her experiences and trauma of being an object versus being treated as a person. And the other areas of concern is the boyfriend himself, that he is threatening her life, and there is some potential for stalking. We would want to get that under control. In summary, it is important to help Ms. Santiago get the appropriate protection from the potential threats of her partner. However, there have been challenges of judges considering non-physical violence to warrant domestic violence protection orders. And the goal is to have Ms. Santiago engage in proactive behaviors that are needed to achieve her goals. Our primary responsibility is to respect Ms. Santiago's subjectively experiences